Hey everybody, happy Friday. I hope you had a wonderful week and are ready to spend some more time with the five awesome musicians. On Wednesday, we heard from Angela talk about what ensemble she's been in and also what she thinks constitutes a great ensemble. And then she asked us the same things. So, let's talk ensembles. Over the vast expanse of my musical expertise, and by vast I mean a decade, maybe, I have played this guy in bands and orchestras, and also this guy in bands and orchestras. So that's kind of like the big picture idea of my ensemble career. But Angela also asked us which ones we found most inspirational in particular. And that's kind of a hard question, and that I don't think I could narrow it down to just one. Because I've been able, like looking back on all of those different groups, I've been able to pull like a different life skill from all of them and then kind of mushed it into one big inspirational situation. So yeah, can't pick just one. However, there are definitely a few that stick out a little bit more than others. Namely, my high school's top symphonic band. And you know those crazy bands that you're like, that start their marching shows in April and then play the same show all the way through the fall, and then also those schools that start their superstate pieces like in September. Yeah, that was us. Hi. Hi. Yeah, we were pretty insane, but we were really good, so like worth it. Also, my director, he said one thing once that has stuck with me for like ever, and every time I go to a new ensemble, I always think of it. And he always told us that it was his job as a band director to expose us to quality repertoire, which I thought was really interesting because I'd never thought of it that way before, but it's totally true, which kind of ties into what Angela is asking about what we think makes up a great ensemble. I think that one of the main things is that it's the director's responsibility to do just that, to expose the students to just a quality set of repertoire. And then another ensemble that in particular I was able to pull a lot from was my time in the Schaumburg Youth Symphony Orchestra. And this is a big deal for me because that was my first like orchestra experience. There were a lot of kids in that orchestra that I remember being so frustrated because their work ethic just wasn't there, and they wouldn't practice and wouldn't have things prepared, and I was just so frustrated. But the director of that ensemble just knew how to whip them into shape, but in like a healthy, positive way, and it was just absolutely incredible. And his rehearsal technique was amazing, like enough so that I would easily rehearse a band the same way he rehearsed our orchestra because it was just insane, and we got things done and we were good. Even if the kids like didn't want to be there all the time and it was like their parents kind of forced them to do it type of thing, it was crazy. And he was just a really nice person that like cared about all of us, and it was just really great. So that's another thing that I think makes a great rehearsal, or no, sorry, great orchestra, great ensemble, is just that ability to stay firm as the director, but be able to connect with the students too, which I believe Angela also brought up. I do think the director has to physically show that he cares about the ensemble. And then, I mean, that works both ways, that the kids also have to show that they care about the ensemble too, and that they do want to be there. In terms of ensembles I've been in but don't have nice props for, last year, another thing Angela and I did was we were actually in a gamelan ensemble, which was really freaking hard, but it was really cool in retrospect, which is this crazy Indonesian kind of percussion-y instrumental ensemble. And we actually did put on a concert and got to dress in like traditional clothing, and it was awesome. So that's one thing. And another thing is I've been singing for a very long time, so I've also been in definitely my fair share of choirs and smaller choral groups. And then lastly, for now, because I could keep going forever, I kind of want to talk about my choral experience. And all those years that I was in the honors choirs, we were actually able to be in the entire district honor choir, which is like the top of each school in one big choir, which is the coolest thing in the world ever. Um, and this ties into another thing that I think makes a great ensemble is just being able to have fun. And it's really easy to get bogged down sometimes by like rhythmic things and theory things and like I don't know, other stressful things like that. But at the end of the day, like you're playing music to play music and build these relationships with the people around you like through just playing your instrument or singing, which is really weird if you think about it, but like really awesome at the same time. Yeah, so in this big district choir, the music we would sing was just unbelievable, and it was always super, super powerful. So we have this, like, I mean, it wasn't a huge choir, but like, we had this big choir of people from all these different schools. We didn't meet each other until the day of the concert, and then they give us this piece, and it's just big impact points literally everywhere, and you're all singing together, and there is nothing more unifying than that, and it was just awesome. And I am a firm believer that you have to do that with your ensemble just so that they can form those connections and really get out of it as much as they possibly can. We did, I think one of the greatest things was when that same district choir, sorry, um, we sang Carmina Burana, like the whole thing, which was mixed feelings, but that final performance of it was, I think I had goosebumps for like 4 weeks. It was so awesome. And just because that's like heavy stuff. And it was just so cool that we were able to do that and like come together like that. And also going along with that, just the fun part of it, like there was one piece we did that was literally like, I want to say for the first like 3 pages was just us being like, which is like weird like alien noises, but it was the coolest song ever, and we all just had so much fun with it because it was fun and weird, but like it was just such a good bonding thing. And I think it's really important for ensembles to just have fun. Although I could keep going forever talking about this stuff, that's all I'm gonna say about it right now. Until next time, we'll see you next Friday. Have a lovely weekend, and see you next time on the 5 Awesome Musicians. Bye!
We're 5 awesome musicians with an X that's just our way, and that's what makes us awesome. What else can I say?